Hello and welcome to the Miko Bits show. This helps you keep up with what the latest in Bitcoin, blockchain, and DeFi. So if you're struggling with that, please mash the subscribe button. So today we have an exciting show. This is especially exciting because it is a crypto tax software called Zenledger. So, I think it's very important, of course, to be compliant and pay your taxes. And, those are the two things that I think are inevitable is death and taxes. So, we definitely should try to be as compliant as possible. None of this is investment advice. It's not tax advice. It's just information and entertainment. So seek a licensed professional for investment advice, legal advice, tax advice, any kind of advice. So, that's just our little disclaimer here. So, let's get right into it. So, here's Patrick Larsen, the CEO of Zenledger.
Hey, Miko. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, go ahead.
Hopefully the space is inherently exciting enough that I can make taxes a little more exciting.
Yeah, I hope so. So just a quick disclosure for the audience. So my fund, Gumi Crypto's Capital, is an investor in Zenledger. So just so you all know, this doesn't and hasn't biased my show in the past, but I definitely want to highlight what Patrick is doing with crypto taxes. So can you tell me a bit about the problem you solve? I know crypto taxes is the short version, but I'd love to kind of get your own words.
Yeah, as you know, it can be really messy. People can have accounts all over the world. You can have 5 or 10 exchange accounts. You could have lost some crypto in an ICO or in a defunct exchange or just accidentally sending it somewhere. You'll have several wallets. And then when you try to do your accounting and your financial analysis and your taxes on all of this, it's just going to be a mess. You're going to lose your cost basis. You're not going to know your holding period and profit and loss. Over half of our customers work with a tax professional, and a lot of the tax professionals are not up to speed on what crypto is and how crypto is accounted for. So our software can help bridge that gap as well and just present tax professionals with what they're used to seeing in a profit and loss and 8949 forms.
Yeah, so what are you seeing out there in terms of the user behaviors, in terms of the regulators? Like, what's happening? Give us some stories.
Yeah, at the highest level, you do have the IRS and the SEC and the United States government caring a lot more about compliance. They have wrapped their arms around how they want to treat crypto in certain cases, and there have been several high-profile investigations where a human trafficking ring or a funding terror ring or a foreign government hacking exchanges have all been investigated by the IRS or the SEC. John McAfee has been arrested and is awaiting extradition for SEC securities violations, and then IRS income tax violations. So you're seeing enforcement step up. US-based exchanges have to report 1099-Ks, which is aggregate trading activity, to the US government. And you've seen tens of thousands of warning letters come out from the IRS, and the warning letters have various flavors to them. Whether it just be, hey, we saw you had over $20,000 of aggregate trading, please make sure you comply, and then all the way up to, hey, we think you are evading taxes. You have 30 days to respond to this letter, and you are going to see more audits happen. And this year, 2021, is the first year that a yes/no question about did you transact in digital assets this year will be on the front top page of the 1040 form, which is like $1 trillion of real estate in that tax form. So the government's really taking it seriously. So those are the big trends in regulation and taxation. And then obviously everyone's watching the market, and you're seeing huge gains. You're seeing people transact a lot more because you're in DeFi, so you're earning income. You're moving custodians, you're selling some coins for others as you really get high price volatility, and you just need to keep track of all these things.
Yeah, so from a tax optimization perspective, like what are your top 3 tips, right? How does someone who's doing this what are the big things that cost a lot in taxes, and what are the top 3 things you can think of that would save people a lot of money on taxes?
Yeah, I think the main thing is to know what a taxable event is and to avoid those as much as possible. If you're just a long-term holder, then don't move your cryptocurrency around a lot. Moving from Bitcoin to a stable coin is a taxable event. Moving from stablecoin to cryptocurrency is actually a taxable event. You won't have much fluctuation between US dollars and stablecoins by definition, but 2 cents here and there is still a taxable event. The United States does not recognize stablecoins as a proxy for US dollars. So a couple of the myths. So first, know what you're doing. So trading between cryptos creates taxable events. Selling crypto for another crypto or to a stable coin or out to fiat is a taxable event. So those things are clear. There are no 1031 exchanges. You can use tax advantaged vehicles like a Roth IRA or a 401k, and those are pretty deep topics. But so the main thing is know what a taxable event is, and know that short-term capital gains are taxed at a higher level than long-term capital gains, and that the cutoff is December 31st each year. So we just went through December 31st, 2020. So that was kind of like your last chance to tax loss harvest in the 2020 tax year that you're filing. But throughout this year, you can tax loss harvest. If you get in a Dogecoin at 5 cents, and it goes down to 3 cents, and you decide to sell, you have some losses there. And if you get in at Bitcoin at 40,000, it goes down to 30,000, and you decide to sell because you think Ethereum will go up faster than Bitcoin will, you've booked a loss there. So realize what booking losses is. And then, your accounting method, first in, first out, last in, first out, or individual lot can also affect things. And our software will do that for you. Again, we're not tax advisors and we're not legal advisors, but we'll help you and your tax professional, look at the best situation for you, bring everything together across years and years of trading. We can go all the way back to the first time you ever acquired cryptocurrency, and we can give you a detailed financial analysis of what's long-term, what's short-term capital gains for you, what's trading at a loss right now, so that you can sell stuff that's at a loss right now to book the loss and free up cash or stable coin to go into the next crypto that you want to buy that you think will appreciate.
Yeah, so, with regards to the John McAfee situation, I think one of the things that's really, I think there's two very interesting things to understand. I think the first thing to understand is kind of the long arm of the law, right? So, John McAfee is actually, I think, being held in Spain. So, I think it's the reach is substantial. I think the second thing to understand is this idea that the government will kind of get you eventually. So I think that, obviously John McAfee was doing things in 2017, pumping altcoins and doing all kinds of pump and dump and things like that. And, in a way, the thing that's interesting is that they didn't really pursue that. They pursued something else, which was tax evasion, which is sort of how they got like Al Capone, So
yeah,
the thing
that's
an
Al Capone moment.
Yeah, so I guess the thing that's interesting to me is kind of the patterns of law enforcement and IRS compliance enforcement. So how do you see that from your side?
Yeah, so I think for the past 5 years, or whatever, you've gotten very little guidance from the legislative branch, our lawmakers, and from the regulatory agencies. You have an IRS statement from 2014 laying out some basic rules. Hey, the crypto is going to be taxed like property. You have to keep records. And then a 2018 tax bill that specifically said that 1031 exchanges are only for real estate. Therefore, they're not for crypto or other asset classes. And you're not getting too much more. It's taken a while for government regulators and agencies to care enough about cryptocurrency because at a $1 trillion market cap now, it's about 5% of the US stock market. It's on the radar now. And you have states like Wyoming going for bank charters. You have Kraken opening a bank there, and Avanti, and you have US senators talking about this now. You have a blockchain caucus in the United States Congress. So and now we have a unified government. You have Democrats in the House, Senate, and President. So you can see that there's a possibility for some future legislation now. Whereas if you have split government, there probably wouldn't have been. So we're kind of at that spot where the regulators and the legislators, it's gotten on their radar. They've spent enough time working with it that there are now dedicated teams, just like there are dedicated blockchain teams in every Fortune 50 company. There are now dedicated blockchain teams inside the IRS, inside the SEC, and various other government entities. So there's enough expertise there that people are willing to take on some risk, because the IRS is or the SEC is obviously afraid of taking someone to court, losing in court, and then that sets law and precedent and case law that the legislators didn't write into law in the first place.
Sure.
Those are kind of the things that they're competing forces.
Yeah, so regulators do hate to lose, but the thing that they can do is they can apply a lot of pressure and they can force a settlement that might be disfavorable. So I guess the thing I would like to kind of understand from the perspective of the audience is, what should they be watching out for? Like what causes people to be targeted, and how do people avoid the wandering gaze of the IRS?
Yeah, so the IRS successfully sued Coinbase in 2017, 2018. And so know that US based exchanges are reporting aggregate trading activity on 1099Ks to the US government. So that is something to consider. So if you haven't complied at all, you should really consider doing that. People are going to get audited for crypto holdings. The government will be able to see that you had crypto trading activity and that you checked no on your 1040, even though you should have checked yes. And that's going to be a big flag for whether or not they should audit you, right? So you want to think about those types of things. It's kind of risk reward. I would recommend complying, and then you can decide how aggressive you want to be as well. You can be extremely aggressive with your tax planning. Lots of people do that, but you need a tax professional. You need to know what you're doing and what risks you're taking. Just like with investing, right? It's perfectly fine if you're aggressive and you make informed decisions. So that's what I would recommend. It doesn't take too much time to get up to speed, and you can always contact us, ask us any questions you need. We have like a full customer support staff that helps people out, so we can answer some of your questions. And then we also work with various CPAs and lawyers that are experts in the space.
So the big gotcha then is the checkbox that's now on the front of the 1040, right? Which is that if you say, oh no, I don't have anything like that, and then it turns out that you do, then that can be a big issue for you.
Yeah, so every single taxpayer and every single tax professional is going to have to check that box, yes or no, going forward. That's a big deal. It really highlights how important the government views cryptocurrency at this point. It's the best indication that they're taking things seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's definitely showing up on the roadmap. And, the other day, Elon Musk changed his Twitter profile to just say Bitcoin. So, obviously the richest person in the world by some measures, is focused on Bitcoin. And I think a lot of people are paying attention. So I do think that it's interesting what you're saying. So, obviously, people who are viewing this who may or may not have done anything in the crypto space, or may not be in the US, I think if they reach that box on the IRS form, it sounds like they should probably answer truthfully then.
Yeah. I mean, the IRS views mistaken compliance much differently than evasion, right? Like you stating you owed 8,000 in taxes when you actually owed 10,000, but you paid 8,000 in taxes is completely different than you paying zero taxes or claiming a $10,000 loss when you owed 10,000 in taxes, right? And so again, it's your own risk calculation if you want to do that or not. I would say that tax compliance is going up more and more in cryptocurrency because you don't have Binance anymore. You have Binance US, Huobi US, right? Americans have less and less places to store their assets overseas, and you see criminal investigations of BitMEX, things like that. The United States is extremely active in its regulation, and you're probably going to see some sort of EU, US, pacts about this stuff. There'll always be some Wild West forefront where you can trade on things that you want to trade on. But if you're a U.S. resident, you're paying U.S. taxes, your life is here, your retirement is here, your kids are going to live here, you should probably be taking, tax compliance pretty seriously.
Yeah. So how do you, do you have any anecdotal stories coming from your customer base? People who represent folks that the IRS have contacted. You don't have to name any names, of course, it's confidential, but any kind of stories about this would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch, and some of them are pretty funny. Some things like, hey, I told my CPA that I've been working with for 20 years that I'm into crypto. The CPA fired me on the spot. I then gave the CPA my 8949 and said, no, I took care of it on Zenledger. And then like they maintained that relationship. So there's a lot of people who are just, our clients are all on the forefront of investing. And so they're getting into some messy things. They're in DeFi, they're in ICOs, and we help them sort that out. And their CPAs are very thankful because it can be a mess, but we create full audit trails and full tax profit and loss. One of our clients was really big into ICOs in 2017, and he restated his tax returns for the third time, sent them in the IRS, and then he got a letter saying, hey, thank you for sending in your taxes again. We're going to close out the criminal investigation we've had on you for a couple of years. So They don't tell you that there is a criminal investigation open on you, but if you show good faith and you keep trying, then they'll tell you that, hey, good job, we're going to close the criminal investigation on you. And then we have another client who was number 30 at Coinbase, number 30 employee, had a lot of salary through cryptocurrency from like 2013, 2015, and restated his taxes and found that he'd overpaid by several $100,000 just because he wasn't accounting for things correctly. So a lot of benefits to just kind of getting your house in order and not worrying about these things. Everyone wants to just make profits, and optimizing your taxes and having your house in order lets you free up more cash or more resources, more crypto to keep in the crypto ecosystem, to keep appreciating or to keep taking advantage of the next thing, whether it's ICOs or DeFi or DAOs or what comes next. And our software supports all of that. We make sure that we're where you need to be come next tax season.
So, let's say that people are kind of hesitant for a variety of reasons, like how do you make it easy for people to get started?
Yeah. So on average, people have like 4 exchanges, 1 or 2 wallets, and we can just hook all those up sometimes in just 15 minutes. You just click on Coinbase. It's a one-click authorization. If you want to, you can click on a more in-depth API authorization for Coinbase, and it's the same with many other exchanges. And it's always just read-only, just like so. All we can do is see what the buys and sells were and get that squared away for you. We never ask you for private keys. We just ask for like public wallet addresses and read-only APIs, and we can just get you squared away really quickly. If for some reason you need to make some one-off transactions, like, hey, I lost some Cryptopia money or something, we'll give you instructions on how to contact Bittrex to ask for certain files that you can only get from the customer service. We have all sorts of help articles and videos. We always have customer service people standing by so that you can chat, email, or talk on the phone with them to get you squared away. But most people, buy a couple years at the start. We have a really high net promoter score, 60, which is really high in the industry, and we get a ton of referrals and a very low. Very seldom do people ask for refunds, but when they do, we kind of no questions asked. We just issue refunds.
Yeah. So in general, those are all ways that people can really get in and, they can really feel very comfortable getting started. Because I think one of the things that I think people do kind of stall around this topic, right? Because I think that it's definitely, it's maybe not fun. It's kind of complicated. And, so there's a lot of kind of barriers to people kind of just getting through this process.
Yeah, it's the mother of all procrastination traps. It's high stress. It happens infrequently, so you never really get good or comfortable at it. So it's just all these things come together to make it unpleasant and stressful. But you can always start pretty early. Like you can contact us now, and we can get things squared away for you probably in a couple weeks. And if you're waiting on other forms, your W-9 or something, they'll come through, but you'll already have your crypto squared away. And we're here, and we're not as busy as we'll be in March and April, where it may take a little bit more time to get back to you. But we are seeing 350% more people engaging with us year over year, so over the last 12 months, and that has a lot to do with obviously asset prices going way up, more people being in crypto, and then lots of referrals from our happy customers to new customers. And then, the IRS and government kind of making it clear that they care about compliance.
So, what are the kind of easiest and quickest ways to kind of get traction, with you? Like, where do people go, and how do they connect to you, and how do they get their questions answered?
Yeah, you can always find us on Twitter. I'm at Patrick Larsen on Twitter, and then at Zenledger_IO, or you can just go to our website, zenledger.io, and just click on chat and let us know. You can also email us at hello@zenledger.io. So we're always happy to talk to you, and we can just go step by step, getting you taken care of. We have a bunch of customers that just kind of self-service. They're very comfortable with creating APIs and finding their wallet addresses, and they just breeze right through. And then we have other customers who this is their first time thinking about accounting or taxes, or they're not quite comfortable with the tech side of enabling these things, and we can just walk you through it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, I always answer or attempt to answer my YouTube comments. So if you have any questions or YouTube comments, you can just place them directly below, and I'll try to direct you to the best of my ability. So, yeah, so I guess any other questions or thoughts about, this tax space, any advice you could give? And, obviously we're kind of creeping into tax season already almost.
Yeah, I mean, things are going nuts, right? The markets are just going nuts. You have things like Gamestop, you have short squeezes, you have still huge volatility in Bitcoin, you have Ethereum doubling quickly, you have Dogecoin. So just stay on top of things, right? Every quarter, get your records together, because you never know. Exchanges seem to be more stable now, which is great. They don't routinely fail and get hacked like they were getting in the past. So that's great. But just stay on top of things and know what the smart trades are in terms of like if you use us, we're launching portfolio management in a couple months. But already, if you get all your information in the system, you'll see what is trading at a loss for you and where it's trading at a loss, and you can sell those to free up resources to buy other things. You can see what's a short-term capital gain, a long-term capital gain. So just from a tax and cash management trading perspective, you can use our software to make smart trades during the day, during the year. It's not just a tax reporting thing at the end of the year. And if you have questions, kind of let us know, because we do deal with people that have 401ks and things like that. We want to offer, the Miko community, the Miko Bits, Evercoin community a coupon. So, just let us know when you purchase, and the coupon is Miko15, MIKO15, for 15% off. Lots of our customers buy multiple years from us, and we'll honor that coupon for multiple years as well. But those are the big takeaways. The government really cares about this. It's a great time to be in crypto, but be careful. Your crypto capital gains span other things, like your stock capital gains, and it all flows through to your income as well. So it all kind of ties in, especially if you're in DeFi and you're earning income from crypto, which is great, but you just have to report it. And BlockFi is definitely, and Celsius, they're definitely, and Abra, they're definitely reporting these things to the U.S. government. And we have partnerships with a lot of the best companies in the space. CoinGecko, Abra, eToro. We're partners with them, and a lot of times it's sole partnerships, because they've looked at the quality of our software and our team, and have decided that we're the best tax partner in the space for them.
Fantastic. Well, it's been really great. Obviously, everyone should check out Zenledger. Definitely get started if you haven't. Use the coupon Miko15, and definitely. This is something that strongly encourage people. The government may be slow, but it is in some ways very inevitable. So it's going to kind of figure out what's going on out there and figure out what you've got going on. So it's definitely worth checking out. So thanks so much for joining the Miko Bits show.
Yeah, thanks, Miko. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Miko Bits.